Hi, my name is Zachary Berman. I'm a faculty member at the CUNY School of Professional Studies and elsewhere. And this is a presentation I did at a workshop on May 3rd, 2013 about an assignment that I give in my online and in my in-person classes called a mini paper, which I sometimes call a hollow paper or a tiny paper. And this is just a way for students who are intimidated by the process of paper writing to get used to what the format of a paper should look like without having to worry about the content of a paper. I often find students have trouble juggling those two things, and they wind up focusing too much on the format when they should be focusing on the content. So this kind of gets the formatting out of the way beforehand in a small assignment that's low stakes. I think it's 3 or 4% of the semester grade, and you'll see the grading is very simple. So the reason I do this, as I said, students freak out. Every discipline and every professor has very different requirements of what they want a paper to look like, and students have a hard time juggling that. Meanwhile, of course, students are already doing content without paper formatting, so it's not like they're missing out on the content. They're doing content in other assignments. This is what how paper scaffolding used to look in my course. Identify a topic, begin your research, rough draft, final draft. Pretty standard. Now I do this mini paper assignment, which is different. This is my mini paper assignment. I'm going to make it bigger in case you're projecting this. This is a paper without a content, a hamburger on the patty, a decaf coffee. This requires no research. This is a paper that students are going to write, except they're not going to put the body in the middle of the paper, and I don't really care what they say in the paper. I just care that they have the formatting proper. I still want them to use globalization, nationalism, imperialism, but as you see, that's not part of the grading rubric, so they can get away with not having it. What they need to have is a name. Their name is a proper heading, a title and subtitle, because that's what we do in my discipline. In history, we do a title and a subtitle, so they have to do that. They have to do a prologue, an introduction, a conclusion, and an epilogue. 4 separate paragraphs. I find that if students do introductions that are kind of wishy-washy, and this helps them be clear about 2 separate things. A prologue, which can be wishy-washy and should be personal, and an introduction in which you outline the body of the paper. Then, in the middle of the paper, where the body of the paper should go, they just put an ellipsis. You'll see what this looks like, and it's strange at first, but it really... Anyway, conclusion should mirror the introduction, epilogue, in which they describe how they were personally changed by this experience, and then just show me where the appendix and bibliography should go. And I grade on a scale of 1 to 10 on whether they did these 10 things. It's very easy to grade. I don't really care if their ideas make sense. I don't really care if their topic is a bad topic or outside of our course. I'll comment on that so that they know for next time, but I won't grade that. I'm just grading it on the format. So this gives them a good idea to try something out with no worry. Here's an example of a mini paper that I wrote, heading, prologue, title and subtitle, prologue, introduction, ellipsis, conclusion, epilogue, a place for appendix and bibliography, and this is the whole thing. This one I kind of go back and forth. I'm sort of writing this about writing a paper, but I'm also writing it about the Black Plague. I show them that an epilogue and a prologue, that's the place to do your personal journal-y things. I talk about zombie apocalypse movies here. That's something you can do in your paper. Just put it in the right place. Don't put it in the middle of the paper. Put it in the prologue or the epilogue. So I show them that. And there's assignments leading up to this and after this that sort of make this make sense. This eventually leads into a shorter paper and a longer paper, which have all the same requirements of this mini paper, but also need a body and research and quoting and references and that kind of thing. I'm not sure how everybody else feels about it, but I feel like students should get the choice. I give students choice whether they'd like to make the mini paper and the shorter paper and the longer paper the same paper, just expanded, or whether they'd like to change topic drastically between the two. I feel like if a student is bored of a topic, I don't want to force them to write it over and over. They can start with a new topic. And I gave paper presentation videos this last semester. I made them make videos of the presentations. The students seem to really enjoy that. Again, the paper presentation video and the mini paper were both worth 3 or 4% of the semester. The shorter and longer paper were worth more. So this gives them a chance to do something fun, the mini paper and the presentation about the paper, while they can really focus on most of the grade is from the longer paper and the shorter paper versions. I also tell them to not start a paper from scratch, but start on something they wrote somewhere else in my course, because students, freak out when you give them a start from scratch. So that's my presentation, and I think this assignment is really useful, and I would love it if people plagiarize me.